Welcome to the Jeff Knows Inc. Entrepreneurial Show with your host, Jeff Lopes.
We are live on the Jeff Knows Inc. podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Lopes. I'm super excited to have on Nick Bradley from the UK. Nick's going to help us with our 6-minute hump day. He's got 4 pillars that I think are going to, when I talked to Nick in the past, I think are going to be very insightful and actually be able to bring a great lesson. Let's go, Nick. How are you, brother?
I'm awesome, man. I love the hustle of this. 6 minutes, the pressure. No, I'm on it, mate. I'm here to serve. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
So I'll say what they are first. So It's be grateful, be brave, have faith, and show up. And for me, that's a mantra. It's an affirmation. Sometimes when I do my morning run, I'll be going along saying that. And where they came from, I'll go back a step. So when I was going through a bit of a challenging time and trying to work out how I wanted to be and my identity and things like that, I did a lot of stuff with Tony Robbins. And I ended up going to an event of his called Date with Destiny. And it's a really amazing event where you really connect with your values and your standards. And I like to think it sets the tone for potentially how you want to live the next 5 years or more of your life. And you go through all these different things. And at the very end, he wants you to summarize everything that you've learned over what he calls 6 days and 6 nights, because it literally finishes at 3 or 4 in the morning. And you work literally 12 hours a day for those 6 days. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I was in the shower and I knew that I had to turn up for this final day and I had to bring it all together in a way. And I'd written this board that's actually behind me here with all these different things. And I'm thinking, how can I shorten this? What is it? And then all of a sudden, like there's this weird message from somewhere, be grateful, be brave, have faith, show up, just landed in my head. And so what it is this. I think that being grateful and being appreciative of everything that you have in life is one of the things that we miss, and lots of people miss, because we get so caught up in the future, the past, the hustle, the bustle. We're not present. And if you stop for a second and realize everything that you have, sometimes people call it luck. You happen to be born in this country. You happen to have these parents. You happen to have these things in your environment. Sometimes you've got to stop and connect. And gratitude for me is also the antidote of fear. So if I'm feeling scared or whatever else, if I stop for a second and appreciate what I have, I realize that everything I need is with me now. So that's the grateful piece. And then the second one, be brave. And I've actually got this tattooed on my ankle. I had this tattooed on my ankle before I left Australia to move to the UK 15, 20 years ago. And I think facing fears, knowing that you're always going to feel fear doesn't go away. You never actually kind of can get rid of it, but you can manage how you respond to it. And all the success I've ever had in life has been feeling fear and doing it anyway. And then as you do more of it, you become significantly more comfortable with it. So I try and do something every day or week that feels scary, because I know the only way that I'm going to grow is through that. And that's about being brave to be able to face those situations. Having faith for me is not necessarily a religious thing. It could be for other people, but it's trusting that if I'm doing everything I need to do, if I'm being the right sort of person that lives to my values and my standards, that things are ultimately going to work out. And they might not work out that day, that week, that month, but ultimately they're going to work out at some point if I trust and I have faith that I'm doing what's required. And to some extent, trusting the universe that there is a path for me. And I've had lots of experiences in my life which are serendipitous. You could call them fate. And I'm not a particularly spiritual person, but I'm also not necessarily going to judge it.
Yeah.
And I go, wow, that's a bit weird. Like even how I met my wife, all sorts of things, just things happen.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which is show up, is for me, it's really about taking action and living with a degree of discipline and focus and commitment in my life. And I think, that I love the saying, how you do anything is how you do everything.
I love
and
that.
I've really grabbed onto that.
Yeah.
And showing up for me is showing up as the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And if you ask me what's my mission that underpins those 4 pillars, and it's a bit of a common one, but it's important to me, it's still becoming the best version of me, but inspiring and helping people achieve that in themselves as well. And those 4 pillars,
I think if people were to live in that mindset of just being the best version of yourself, because if you're in the best version of yourself, you're able to serve people the best you possibly can. And if people could focus on themselves first, become the best version of themselves, the world will be a better place, because everybody will be able to serve and help so many other people become that mindset, which I love that part. This is awesome, brother. It was quick, to the point. 4 pillars that, I mean, if you actually sit back, you could utilize it towards, anybody can utilize it towards the rest of their life. I love the tattoo aspect.
Yeah.
I got 2 things I always think of, and my wife instilled one into me. Is when we got married, I'd always be high strung, and she'd always keep saying this to me: "Let it go, let it go, let it go." It took me to my 40th birthday, and I tattooed it on my wrist, and it says "Let it go." So now I have it on my mindset. The only problem is the movie, the Disney movie came out, Frozen, so now it became
Yes.
a song. So now it became a song. And then the other thing is always I have that mindset where it's just be relentless. No matter what, if you want something, you got to keep going till you get it. And that's my other tattoo on my wrist, relentless. So I look at those 2 every day. If you got a problem, let it go.
I like that though, because they kind of
yin and yang, right?
well, they conflict in a really nice way. They're exactly yin and yang. There's a point of conflict and there's a point of congruence, which I like.
I love this. I love this, brother. Thank you so much. Nick is going to actually be on a full episode in a few weeks. Great conversation. Great individual. I'm so happy we connected. And thank you, brother.
Hey, Jeff, not a problem. Always fun to chat with you, mate.
Thank you, brother.